The movement involved some great and courageous people. Aaron Henry, Fannie Lou Hamer, so many people who every day took their lives in their hands to make Mississippi a better place. But they had to have lawyers likewise.
The changing of a society is a process that's glacial. Whether we like it or not, changing people's minds is an enormous undertaking.
Mississippi. It was the worst of the closed society.
There were so many things going on in Mississippi that were bad. If you could have seen the way black people were treated, it was just horrendous.
Our society is one based on the rule of law. That's how it's done in America. Lawyers were a helping role and a necessary role.
The primary responsibility of the national government was to protect fundamental rights, the rights of freedom and equality for the black people. And the national government wasn't moving.
Lawyers put real lives on the line.
I remember he was handling one case. He had received a telephone call saying, if you show up for court, we will kill you.
We must come to grips with the fact that while we are engaged in a battle to get an ultimate goal, it will take generations to do it.
Visionaires. Yeah, we on a visionary vibe. Cultivating purpose, solutions, and unity while advancing and increasing your personal growth, development, energy, frequency. Yeah, it's a visionary vibe. You ever considered rites of passage, separation, transition, elevation, and purpose? Do you have a code of ethics, protocol, truth, love, respect? I salute you. Pull up at the house and get what you need. Open house vision. Are you a visionary? Pull up at the house. Salute you, Jackson, Mississippi, and surrounding areas. Yours truly, Bennie Hitmaker Foster, and you're tapped and tuned in, locked in to the Visionaire Show. Man, I'm so excited about what's happening in the city of Jackson, but I do have a quick note that we need to observe a little later in the show. We have some situations going on in the city and in various cities around the world right now to where people are literally dealing with a state of depression, to where it has actually led to quite a few suicides in the last week or so. And we must address that, the timeliness of this, with us talking about the law of vibration. For our second universal law, we're talking about the law of vibration. And it just so happens that these people are on a low vibrational state to where they feel like that they're, first of all, not being heard. Now, I don't know if that's going to resonate with you guys the way it resonates with me, because I'm currently on this just immaculate podcast that I feel like is a blessing to be a part of, the We Believe global digital family. And it's like I'm on here to be heard. And so the time and effort of the producers, of the founder of the network, and all these different things is because they believe that people have something that needs to be heard. And so these people, young and old, even in New Orleans, here in Jackson, even down in Greenwood, Mississippi, that I've heard of 3 or 4 cases in the last few days of someone that literally felt like they had lost the audacity of hope, that they had lost the ability to be able to speak and be heard, and that people literally come into an understanding and comprehending of what they're trying to convey to them. Now, it may not really hit home yet, but think about this. When someone opens their mouth to say something, they're communicating. And so when someone writes a letter, and I'm speaking to the incident here, I don't want to name any names. I don't want to name any schools. There was an incident here in the city of Jackson, Mississippi, where a young lady got to the point to where she felt like she was not being heard. I'm being told that she wrote a letter. I'm being told that she cried out. I'm being told that she spoke to several people. And literally, no one heard her enough to stop her from leaving that school, walking down the street to an overpass, and throwing herself off of that overpass because she lost the audacity of hope. She lost hope. She felt like she wasn't being heard. In Jackson, Mississippi, I'm going to say to you that that is not going to be tolerated. We have to open up our heart, our eyes, and our ears. And today, I've been released. I've been released actually last week when I told you that we were calling for peace and then we would declare war after our 48-hour ceasefire. Well, today, we're declaring that war. There is a vibrational state here in the city of Jackson that young and old alike are vibrating on a low frequency to where there's a poverty, social, economic attack upon this city. And until we break out of that cycle, break out of that vibration, break out of that frequency, we will stay exactly where we are, or it will begin to get worse. Okay? And so when I say I'm declaring war, understand that those that have been sitting by idly with idle hands watching our city go to hell in a handbasket, that stops. If you're not assisting, if you're not helping, get out of the way. This is to all politicians. This is to all lawmakers. This is to all supposedly law-abiding citizens. If you're not going to contribute to the restoration of the city of Jackson, Mississippi, those that said it could not be done, do not interrupt those that are doing it. I am declaring a clarion call today. Get with us at 1-833-GPS-LOVE. Again, 1-833-GPS-LOVE. That is the hotline, the youth hotline number. If there's anything that you feel like you can contribute, whether it's advice, whether it's wisdom, I'm willing to listen to anyone's concept and idea on how we can propel this city forward. But I've been here for over 60 days now, and anywhere from 30 to 60 to 90 days, as my mentor, Dr. Henderson, says, you will bring change and you will discover the issues and challenges that are being faced. There's no excuse for us to move forward, fix those broken things, and allow the people who want to bring change to bring change. All right? I'm not going to name drop and I'm not going to name call, but it's time for some people to move out of the way and allow new blood to come in, people that have a heart and a love for the city of Jackson, Mississippi. And if you didn't have help before now, you have help of Open House Vision. We were literally on our call last night, our men's call, our salute call, and we had a young man from Alcorn University was on the call, and he asked us how can he get started with positioning himself at Alcorn so other students could be heard. Now, that's not ironic that people are not being heard, and then a young man is on the phone with us last night saying, how can I start a program at Alcorn where students can be heard? We quickly began to ally ourselves with him. We quickly began to partner with him on that phone call, and it had me in tears last night because the men that were on the phone, we quickly jumped in support, offered resources, offered finances to him last night. We didn't have to go pray about it. We didn't have to go think about it. We didn't have to go through 12 different advisory boards. We didn't do any of that. We jumped because that young man had a timely response to something that's happening right now. Resources are available. time, effort, and love. See, that's the alarm going off saying it's time. Resources are available. People are available. The right people, the right place, the right plan, the right position, and the right posture is very evident. And speaking of resources, I have none other than Brother Mike Lee from Washington, D.C., my special co-host for the day. And I believe that we have him on the line. We're going to go ahead and tap and tune in with him. And if you guys are watching wherever you are, please like this, love this, and share this now, because we getting ready to get in where we fit in. Brother Mike Lee, how you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
Man, awesome, man. I am so awesome, so blessed to see you, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I can read your bio. If you want me to read your bio, I can read your bio. But if you want to tell us personally about yourself, you can do that as well.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, Benny, I just wanted to just thank you, man. One, for the work that you're doing down in Jackson, and two, just for giving us the platform to be able to just, give some high-level information. I know Jackson is an upcoming city. Y'all are thriving. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area, so we see a lot of the same things that you see, and I've seen the change over the years. I've seen the rotation. I've seen people's vibration increase, and that comes with, people like yourself and a couple people that believes in the vision. So first of all, Benny, I want to just thank you for the platform. Again, my name is Mike Lee. I am from the Washington, D.C. area. And honestly, I've been, blessed enough to be a successful entrepreneur. I have several businesses that I own and operate. And, they're doing well. But my heart is really just helping the Black community understanding money, understanding how resources work, understanding where resources are. Because people don't know what they don't know.
Yes.
You can't Google something you never heard of. It is what it is. But there are things that's vibrating at a higher frequency than us. So what I want to do today is just link up with Bennie, link up with the city of Jackson, and really just teach y'all where some of these resources are. Because listen, family, y'all are closer than you think you are to being out of your situation. I promise you, I am in Washington, D.C. We've seen it all. You are closer than you think you are to being out of that situation.
Awesome. So, Mike, tell me, first of all, how did you stumble into this arena? How did you stumble into it? And when we come back for segment 2, guys, we're going to literally pull up on the screen what the law of vibration consists of, and we have a chart to show you why it's so important, and we can see how that low vibrational frequency that leads to things like depression and suicide and killing and violence and crime is directly affecting our city and how we can come out of it. But Mike, real quick, you got about 2.5 minutes to tell us how you stumbled into this arena of what you're currently doing now and as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so, growing up, my dad was military, my mom was military, so we did a lot of traveling. But upon my dad retiring, he was an entrepreneur. He was like, look, I see what everybody else is out here doing, and I can do it twice as good. He has the discipline and, the passion to be able to help. So I grew up watching my pops do incredible work. He fed a lot of the homeless. He put people in hotels. He was hands-on, grassroots. So I saw that, but he was also getting to the money. So I'm like, all right. I know that's what I'm trying to do when I get older. So I started off, man, honestly, my first business, I was 19 years old. I had a moving company that was online. And pretty much I was just, people would bid, $300 for this job, $400 for this job. I'm like, man, I'll do it for $250. Look, I'm 19. I'll do it for $250.
Get the job.
Yeah. So, fast forward a couple years later, I started doing what my dad did, special events. I made great money. However, it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep.
Yes.
I was making $125,000 a year, $126,000 a year, working 80 hours a week.
Wow.
But if you pushing 120 out the door, you still broke. You just broke at a higher level. So I got into finance, and my buddy, he actually explained to me how there's resources available out here that we can tap into. But that's how I started.
Well, man, that's awesome, Mike. And the one thing I know is that when me and you talked, we talked about one thing, but then the vibration that we was on took us to a whole nother level. I think our initial phone call went about 45 minutes. And then I've seen some of the resources that you guys have. And guys, there's a link right now at Bennie Hitmaker Foster on Facebook where I posted this, and we can share that link. It should be on We Believe Global shortly after as well, where you can link and see a lot of those resources to where Mike will discuss a little bit more of that later. And so today's show is very important to me because, first of all, I love consistency. It's called TLC, Time, Love, and Consistency. And once you're consistent with something, it actually smooths out after so long, And sometimes people think that the more you get at, the more you do it, it gets harder. No, the more you do it, it gets more flowing, it gets more easy. And I want to encourage everyone to believe for what they're believing for. If it's something that's helping humankind, you should think about how important your vision or your dream, and remember that your vision times mission equals purpose. Your vision times mission equals purpose. And you want to define your purpose now in moving forward and show the world that there is a seed on the inside of you waiting to prosper. Mike, before we go to the break, I want to ask you something. Do you have mentors, and how important are they? Do you have mentors, and how important are those mentors to you? You got about 35 seconds.
Man, my mentors are incredibly important to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the biggest driver of my success. I'll tell you one thing, Benny. If you want to catch a cold, let's say you wanted to catch a flu, you got to get around people that have a cold, right? You get around people that sick. So if you want to increase your vibration, you get around people that vibrate higher. If you want to increase your income, get around people that make more money, right? So my mentors are incredibly important to me, brother. Incredibly.
Now, sometimes people think mentors are about someone older than you, but it's really about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, all right? So before we go to this break, guys, I want to say thank you for tapping and tuning in. And as we continue to move toward what we're doing as far as changing the mindset of Jackson, Mississippi, we want to go to today's show is sponsored by earthblendcoffee.global. You can use the link in the description box to place your order now. And we'll be right back in just a few seconds. Again, you're tapped and tuned in to the Visionaires Show. Are you a visionaire?
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds in February. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet.
Advertise on WeBelieve.global, a brand new digital media platform. Share your brand with our audience on our many global live stream TV broadcasts and over the radio. For more info, visit WeBelieve.global or call 800-492-5186, option 1.
Hello, you're tapped and tuned in to the Visionaire Show, and I have none other than Mike Lee out of Washington, D.C. And hey, Mike, hey, bro, you'll be a heck of a rapper, man. Mike Lee, Washington, D.C. Dun, 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 dun. Mike, go ahead and jump right in and tell us how powerful the resources that you have are changing the lives of some people, because there's nothing better than a testimony, right? So give us an example or two of some of the testimonies, and then we'll get to what you do. We want to just tell people the results, because when you're dealing with vision, you see the end of the thing in the beginning, and then you have to figure out how to get there, right? So let's give them some wonderful testimonies of these resources that you have available and how they have affected the lives of some people just like you and me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Benny, people don't know what they don't know. You know, we all know, everybody in this country, everybody on this line, if you're hearing my voice, you know that there are resources out there. But we know that there's typically some type of red tape. There's some type of, you know, some type of block, you know, some type of, you know, hurdle that we got to jump over to get these resources. However, being in finance and understanding how the world moves and understanding how money moves, it don't take a lot to tap into some of these resources. So we have people in my area and spread throughout the entire country who's applying for grant money. You know, they're actually getting their wills written for free. You know, we got a young lady out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah. You know, her name is Marlena. You know, she's from St. Louis, but she moved to Atlanta to get some work done. And she's actually tapping in, and she just did a book bag drive for a bunch of the kids that's down in Atlanta. You know, as y'all know, some parts of Atlanta got some of the same issues that D.C. got and Jackson.
Yes.
So, you know, being able to get those resources out there, you know, being able to buy 77 book bags and stuff them with pens and papers and things like that and have something positive that the kids can come down to is absolutely incredible. You know, being able to do a coat drive in the wintertime. All these things are resources that's low-hanging fruit, and we just gotta know what we don't know. You know, my job here today, Benny, is really just to teach people how to access the resource. I'll give y'all my number. You know, I love everybody. Y'all can call me all day, every day, but it's really about tapping into some of these resources.
And Open House Vision will be utilizing a majority of those resources that we can literally access. And we'll be partnering with you, Brother Mike Lee, because I love my city, man. And ironically, the way that I stumbled back into being here at Jackson, Mississippi was answering the cry of our young people. You know, we have young people that are here that are acting out through crime, through violence, through homicides. Oh, my God. And now there's this somewhat low vibrational state of depression and suicide. And it's because they're not being heard. I'm going to keep saying it till I turn purple in the face. They're not being heard. And the solution to the problems and the issues and the challenges that Jackson, Mississippi is facing is simple as listening to the young people. When you are a child, there's a seminar that I created and facilitated once called From the Eyes of a Child. A child look at things differently. Though some things may be intimidating to a child, some things are also just as simple and playful that they see things that we as adults don't see because adults begin to carry all of these responsibilities and accountabilities, and we throw up these avatars, we throw up these representatives at work, we throw up these representatives at church, we throw up these representatives at school, and then sometimes if you're not careful, you have to throw up an avatar at home, and you can't ever be yourself. But young people are young and innocent, and they're really literally telling you this does not feel comfortable. They're crying out saying that I'm not happy. They're crying out saying that I am confused, that I am in pain, that I am in shame and hurt, and I feel abandoned, and I feel confused. And we got to stop, Jackson, Mississippi. We got to stop. And we got to listen to our young people because a lot of the things that we're facing, they have the solutions. So, Mike, how many of your resources are available to, say, ages 18 and above? Do you have anything available for teenagers is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, we do actually. We have access to what's called like online learning courses because, you know, people are always going to be a product of their environment, no matter what that is. You know, me growing up here in the D.C. area, one thing that I realized is some of the crowds that I got into growing up, it was based on proximity. It was based on the fact that we all lived together, you know. And what I know, some of the people that maybe went a different route than me, sometimes they confuse attention for love. You know, those people that are giving them the attention, they think that that's love. So then you hit it right on the head. Well, we got to listen to our young people and us as parents. It is our social responsibility to give them a platform where they feel comfortable talking.
Yes.
Right? We don't interrupt them. We let them talk. Yes, it might be off. Yes, the thought process might not be ours, but you got to realize they're not growing up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s like us.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're growing up in a digital age where, you know, their thought process and their distractions come at the tip of their fingers. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we got resources, bro. We got resources. You know, for somebody that's age 18, I recommend things like the online learning program because we can tap in. It's money out here for everybody.
Yes.
You just got to know enough to know enough. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because when you get that job, they're going to teach you how to do the job. Every job that you go on, they're not expecting you to know how to do the job. They just want you to know. They want to know that you have the baseline foundation to learn what they're teaching.
That's right.
Okay? So I think that's the biggest thing that people age 18, you know, looking to kind of get themselves out there, you know, change the narratives about themselves in their head and out in the streets. That's the biggest thing, you know.
There has to be a paradigm shift. There has to be a change in how you're thinking. You change the things you look at, and the things you look at will change. And that means reading, that means visual, that means audio. I have a ton of audio books. I need to share the list with one of our partners as soon as this show is over. That I was speaking with earlier, of just audio books like Think and Grow Rich. I literally have listened to that book 3 or 4 times, and I'm now reading it. And people like Bob Proctor, rest in power, who's recently passed about 2 weeks ago, has been an advocate for that book. He reads that book several times throughout the year. He just reads it over and over because you're always getting something new out of it. And surprisingly enough, some of the strategies and ideas that I had been given and led by God to implement, you can find some of those same principles in books such as Think and Grow Rich. And so a lot of times we are reinventing problems. Like the problems, it's like we don't have enough problems, and then we want to go reinvent some problems, and you know, we actually keep dressing up the problems to make it look like it's something different. But it all boils down to, has the older generation taken time out to pour into the younger generation? Have we taken time to listen? Listening to comprehend, not listening to respond or to reply, or pulling the I'm your mama card or I'm your daddy card. Do what I say. Don't do as I do, but do as I say. We have to have a paradigm shift there, and we have to begin, as a tribal community, begin to empower our young people simply by making them feel as if we hear them. And I'm not talking about acting like we hear them, showing them that we hear them and we comprehend what they're trying to convey to us. What is one of your biggest products, Mike, that you have available for the community? What is one of the biggest things you think that is, we're going to go through maybe a top 3. What is the biggest thing? And we definitely want to go into that law of vibration chart to show how that lines up with some of the things that we have been talking about. So, Mike, very quickly, what's your biggest resource for the people right now?
So my biggest resource is really we're linking up with some of these not-for-profit entities. There are companies called fraternal benefit societies. And what they are, they're 501c8 entities. What that means is they're a bunch of nonprofit organizations.
Wait a minute. You said 501c8.
501c8.
See, everybody knows about 501c3s, but you said something right there, man, that they may not have in their vernacular. You know, it may not be in their vocabulary. So
right.
Can you dabble a little bit on that?
100%. 100%. We've all heard of our churches and our schools and things like that, our charitable organizations. Those are 501c3 entities, right? People don't realize that 3 is an actual designation. There's actually 29 different 501c categories that people set up their businesses in to make sure that they don't have to pay federal income taxes.
Yes.
Okay? Let me break it down even further than that, Benny. Let's start with a 501c1. Okay, if I'm driving down the street, I can open up a checking account with any bank that I see down the road. Wells Fargo, SunTrust, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can open it up with a federal credit union, right?
Mm-hmm.
As quiet as it's kept, a federal credit union is a 501c1 entity. Big Mama always said, hey, you only establish a good relationship with one of them credit unions. You're going to buy a house, you're going to buy a car, get one of them credit unions.
Mm-hmm.
Big Mama didn't know that behind the scenes, if you peel back the layers, that the reason that they're incredible is because they're not for profit. And if they don't want to pay taxes, they have to give you the lowest fees. They have to give you the highest interest rate. They have to give you the home buyer seminar. These are resources that we can be tapping into by tapping into the appropriate banking system, right? Now, I don't do anything with banking. That's just a free nugget. Okay? That's free information. What I deal with is 501c8 entities. Okay, what that 8 is again a fraternal benefit society. Now, if I was to open a life insurance policy, let's say I wanted to get a life insurance policy, I can open it up with any company that I see on the TV. Can I get a hot tub? Discount double check. Are you in good hands? I don't know homie's name. I know he was on Wait Me at Hell, but we all know who he is.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Yeah. Don't nobody know his name for real, but we all know his voice.
But you know that statement,
right?
Yes.
You know that statement. These companies pay tens of millions of dollars every single year so you can remember their slogans. However, there are not-for-profit life insurance companies out here called fraternal benefit societies. And because they're not-for-profit, they're way cheaper than these big-name companies that we hear on the television all the time.
This is good.
And they have these programs.
This is good.
These programs that I'm talking about. Scholarships. They give away over 300 scholarships every single year.
My God.
Nike, where they got the boys and the girls scholarship, and it's $2,000 each. Right? This is what fraternal benefit societies, where they give away 300 scholarships, and they're $10,000 each. That's $3 million off rip.
This is awesome.
That they're giving away. And this ain't everybody that wears Nike shoes. This is only the people that's associated with these fraternal benefit societies. So in a lot of years, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 people that apply for the scholarship actually gets it. Resources.
Awesome.
Right? Resources. These same not-for-profit life insurance companies will let every single one of their members apply for that $2,000 grant that I told you about. The book bag drive. Feeding the homeless. We feed the homeless like nobody's business. My sweet spot, Benny, is I like to feed them the week after Thanksgiving, because everybody can get a meal on Thanksgiving, but that next week it gets crazy again. You hear me? You see what I'm saying?
Meeting a need. Meeting a need. That being a solution. Man, this is Campbell Soup good, Mike. Man, I'm so glad that we connected. And again, Jackson, Mississippi, this is a resource that is available to you. There's a link that you can click on and find the resources, and you can contact Mike. Mike, you want to go ahead and give them that number right now before we go to our next break and come back for segment 3?
Absolutely. If you're hearing my voice right now, I'm telling you that there are resources out there, and you need to tap in. This ain't a matter of, well, let me think about it, let me get back to it. No. This is a situation where Jackson, Mississippi, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, Detroit, Michigan.
Excuse me, Mike.
All these places.
Mike, excuse me. We'll get the number when we go back. Today's show, when we come back, we'll get the number. Today's show is sponsored by earthblendcoffee.global. You can use the link in the description box to place your order now. We'll be right back with more Mike Lee out of Washington, D.C.
SocratesGarrettENT.com is a diversified firm specializing in recycled aggregates and crushed concrete. SocratesGarrettENT.com's recycled materials provide the construction industry with significant economic and environmental benefits by recycling clean concrete rubble into M.Dot grade rock materials. Recycled aggregates and crushed concrete can be applied to driveways, road construction, bank protection, parking lots, general bulk fills, and more. By using SocratesGarrettENT.com's crushed concrete products, anyone from homeowners to general contractors can help reduce landfilled concrete waste, conserve natural resources, and gain significant economic savings on materials and disposal costs. For more information, please call 601-896-0084 or visit us online at SocratesGarrettENT.com. SGECOVIDsolutions.com is paving the way forward for a safer city government delivering cutting-edge biosecurity and biosafety protocols developed internationally by top virologists and scientists using an all-natural cleaning solution, killing COVID-19 on contact like no other product on the international market. For more information, please call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at SGECOVIDsolutions.com. Let SGECOVIDsolutions.com provide innovative rapid facilities testing and world-class state-of-the-art biorisk safety protocols for all of your coronavirus needs. Call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at SGECOVIDsolutions.com.
Advertise on WeBelieve.global, a brand new digital media platform. Share your brand with our audience on our many global live stream TV broadcasts and over the radio. For more info, visit WeBelieve.global or call 800-492-5186, option 1.
Salute. Pull up at the house. Welcome to the second half of the Visionaires show. Yours truly, Bennie Hickmaker Foster, with Open House Vision Innovative Resources located here in Jackson, Mississippi, where we literally offer mentoring, tutoring, intervention prevention, meditation, mediation. We are simply here for you and your child, okay? We are tapped and tuned in to this second half with none other than Mike Lee out of Washington, D.C. with a ton of resources, and he was just about to give you guys a number that can potentially change your life. Okay? The reason I say potentially, Mike, is because they got to call the number. That's the only reason it's potential. Because if they call the number, it's going to change their life. Mike, go ahead and give them that number, please.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Benny. My number is 202-929-0120. Shoot me a text message, give me a call, bird signal. I don't care. But what I'm telling you guys is there are resources out here. I know y'all know middle school teachers that can use this money. I know y'all know people that can use, I know y'all see homeless people out here that can use a hot meal, maybe a beautification project where maybe it's an old rundown library and you guys want to redo the landscaping. Right, it's resources out here, Benny.
Give the number again, Mike. Please give the number again. And ladies and gentlemen, I will put this number as well on my page on Facebook. It will be a part of the caption. Some of you are watching it live right now. I will add it. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and type it in the comments when you say it. What is that number again, Mike?
My number is 202 929 0120. 202-929-0120.
20. Brother Mike Lee. Mike.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate you being on the show today. And I just shared your number in the comments, and I'm pretty sure you're going to hear from some people. I want you to know that a lot of times people are somewhat leery or reluctant to share. And so can we go to that law of vibration, that first one, and we're going to go directly to the second after I read it. We are literally looking at the law that describes everything in the universe vibrates. This law holds true in every aspect of life. Vibration is in the physical world, within our thoughts, feelings, desires, and dreams. Every vibrational frequency has a unique vibration. Can we go to the next one? This is number 2. As far as the 12 universal laws, we did Law of Oneness last week with none other than Lisa Foster, Navigators Network. We appreciate her spending her time and sharing the Law of Oneness. We discussed how we met and got married and how it was a law of oneness, how it is a law of oneness as far as how we operate. And now we're on the law of vibration, and that chart now that has the vibrational chart that shows the different frequencies on it, that additional one we have. I want you guys to understand that the law of vibration either can respond to you having a low vibration or a high vibration, the other one. And we now need to understand, hold on, I'll show you which one. That we need to understand how powerful this is and how we move forward. It was in the email with the other one. What we're looking at now, guys, is that as we focus now and travel forward, we are moving according to these laws. Understand that some things are inevitable. Some things are more than possible. And sometimes we're operating in these laws. Mike, you said you can't tell me middle school teachers can't use this. You're right. You're absolutely positively right. And I've been in communication with Jackson Public Schools about offering resources and letting them know that Jackson has a resource in Open House Vision. And it's been going good. The communications have been going good. And I expect to speak with some more leaders and supervisors and superintendents that are in position to say, hey, this is something that we can use. How can we partner with you? Because it's not just Bennie Foster with Open House Vision. I have partnered and teamed up with other individuals in the city of Jackson. Some were already doing things. Some were trying to figure out how they can do things. And now many see that we're one family stronger together. And as we move in that one accordness, we now know that we must move with a high vibration. We must move with a high vibration. We must move in the area of enlightenment. And that is the highest vibrational frequency. The highest vibrational frequency is enlightenment. And when you are enlightening these people right now, tell me how it is important that they contact you. Because, we can't push it all in one show. Tell them how important it is that they tap into the resources, that they click on the link, that they make this phone call. And just please share from that standpoint, because if they're not enlightened, or if you're not enlightened, ladies and gentlemen, how can you know that there's something more out there for you unless you open up your heart and mind to receive that there is more? Mike.
Absolutely, Bennie. Man, you hit it right on the head. I couldn't say it better, but I'll tell you this. If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Say that again.
If nothing changes, nothing changes. And everybody has the ability to increase their vibration. It all starts with your thoughts, right? It all begins with the thoughts that you put in your mind. Yes, you can control your thoughts. Yeah, you got your default settings, but you can get around people. You can listen to things. People will be exactly who they are today 20 years, 30 years, 50 years in the future, with the exceptions of the books that they read, Bennie mentioned that, the people that they meet, getting around high vibrating people, and the things that they listen to, that audio that Bennie was talking about. He's always putting something positive into his mind. Do you realize that people, okay, we are just programs. Okay, from age 0 to 7 is programming. That's why we got to teach kids the way that we got to teach them these principles. We got to teach them, these morals, these ethics. Because from age 0 to 7, you're programming them. From age 8 and above is reprogramming. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit more. You're going to have to fix some stuff. Okay, we can reprogram ourselves as adults. We can vibrate higher. We can attract money. The law of mentalism, the first law, it all starts in your mind. And I want you guys to understand that you just have to reach out for it. There are principles. The law of expectation. You have to understand that you can expect different things in your life. Okay, Bennie is a resource, so I'm sure he can get you some things that you can listen to. And if not, I got some things you can definitely listen to just get your mind right.
Correct, man. I salute you, Mike, man. This is powerful, man. Thank you for all those that are commenting in the comments as well. And even as you watch this later, guys, if you want to contact myself or Mike Lee, just put in the comments or go and slide up in our DMs, Let's go ahead and get personal with each other. Let's go ahead and start sharing this knowledge and wisdom. See, I believe what happens, Mike, throughout the years is that generationally, certain people have something that we have lacked, and it's called communing. See, a lot of us come together for a lot of music and a lot of noise and a lot of concerts and a lot of events and partying, and then we come together actually for what we call church, but sometimes, a lot of times, it's just certain people speaking and other people are not allowed to speak. But if we can learn how to commune, if we can learn how to come together on one accord in one place and hear the voices of everyone that has a desire to speak, I believe we as a people, and I do mean we all are one, we as a people, not race, not color, not creed, not religion, not tradition, especially not vain religion and vain tradition. You know, I can intercept and put right here, interject that there's a story about this family that every holiday, Mike, every holiday, Jackson, Mississippi, they literally do a half of a ham inside of the oven. They bake a half-baked ham. And all of the daughters, all of the women in the family do the same thing, from Nana on down to the youngest. So this 16-year-old daughter says, I'm doing the ham, and she's doing the ham, and while preparing the ham, I'm doing the ham this holiday. While she's preparing the ham, she says, why do we only do a half-baked ham? She asks her mother. Her mother says, I don't know. Let's ask your grandmother. They ask the grandmother. The grandmother says, I don't know. And so let's say they call Nana, you know. And they call Nana, they put Nana on speakerphone. They say, Nana, hey. They say, hey. They say, okay, April's preparing the ham. And she had a question. She wanted to know, why do we only do a half-baked ham? And Nana says, well, the reason we did a half-baked ham was because when we first started this tradition, we had an oven that was so small that we could only put half of a ham in it. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand that this tradition has been passed down generation to generation because lack of having a large oven, lack of having the oven that could fit a whole ham. I hope I'm helping somebody right now. There are some things that you're doing because at one point you were limited, or your people were limited, and that thing has been passed down so many generations that you're still operating out of a limited mentality. And in order to break that concept, in order to break that mindset, you're going to have to now do your research and find out, just like they asked mother and they asked grandmother, and then they got Nana on the phone, and Nana expressed to them it was because we could not put a full ham inside of the oven we had some 100-something years ago. You feel what I'm saying? You guys got to now understand that we got to move forward and jump into 2022 with all hands on deck. Mike.
Man, you speaking my language now. You speaking my language now because, I mean, and it's not our fault. You know, it's a frequency thing. Like, you got to understand, even in the Bible, it says, train up a child in the way that they should go, so when they get older, they won't depart from it. If you got to look at both sides of the coin, that's a gift and a curse. Because when it comes to finances, our parents trained us up in a way that we should go, and as we got older, we didn't depart from it. Right? Now, our parents weren't doing as well as we want to do, so there are some things that we have to depart from. We have to depart from. We have to reach out, find these resources, and utilize these resources. Mm-hmm. You know, it's no point of knowing the advantage if you're not going to take advantage of the advantage.
Now, Mike,
Bennie, I played sports my whole life. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've played sports my whole life, and if I found out on the basketball court that this person couldn't go left, guess what I'm doing? I'm making him go left.
All day.
It's going to be a rough day.
It's going to be a rough day for him.
It's going to be a rough day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need to do as a community. Mm-hmm. We need to make it a rough day for everybody that's not for what we're trying to accomplish.
That's right.
We need to make it a rough day.
That's right. Now, Mike, you said something very important about once you find out, right? A lot of people are finding out and they're not utilizing what they find out. We're finding out right now that there are tons of resources. And one of the things that I want you guys to understand, that one of the things that Open House Vision is offering as well, and we do have a flyer. I'll begin to show that flyer. It's a new flyer that's getting put out. We are tweaking it and putting some additional things on it because we're going to distribute it through Jackson Public School District. And we want parents, we want teachers, and we want students and administrators to know that on that list, each one of them can participate or partake of resources. Now, one of the things I want to say to you guys right now is that something that we must get back to culturally is a rites of passage. And Mike, you said these things a minute ago, and you didn't even realize that these things line up with the open house vision, rites of passage. And we call it STEPS, STEPS. I will bring a visual in so you guys can see what I'm saying at this point. But first, the first thing of being able to operate in a successful rites of passage is that a person must be separated. You must be separated away from the environment, experiences, and exposure that is dictating to your reality at that point. If you want to change your reality, you got to change your mindset. If you dictate to your 3 E's, your environment, your experiences, and your exposure, that reality that you desire, it's a whole new ball game. It's time for commercial break, guys. Today's show is sponsored by earthblendcoffee.global. You can use the link in the description box to place your order now. We'll be right back. I salute you, absolutely, positively love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Are you a visionaire?
Advertise on WeBelieve.global, a brand new digital media platform. Share your brand with our audience on our many global live stream TV broadcasts and over the radio. For more info, visit WeBelieve.global or call 800-492-5186, option 1.
My golly, my God, you tapped and tuned in to the Visionaires show with none other than Mike Lee out of Washington, D.C., and we've been discussing tons of resources. We have a couple of comments. Thank you, Dave Lewis, for the strong arms in the fire. Monet Macklin, because Gina said it wouldn't fit in the pan. Yeah, it wouldn't fit in the pan because you have to use a small pan to go in a small oven. So, they still outdated, though, 4 generations down, and they still doing something that they're not true to. You can't be true to a lie. You know why you can't be true to a lie? Because time the truth shows up, the lie has to be diminished. That's why you can't stay true to a lie. So, Mona Macklin, thank you for the strong arms. Curtis Williams, my brother from another mother. Curtis, me, you got to talk soon, brother. I have some things coming down the line that you would be a great access to. Curtis asked the question, do you have access to resources for projects that are not for a non-profit business? That's for you, Mike. Do you have access to resources for projects that are not for a nonprofit business? That's Brother Curtis Williams online, live now.
So, short answer to your question is yes. Okay. Now, where those resources lie is, let's say you are a business owner and you have W-2 employees, then there's all types of resources. There's more than just a PPP loan out there. Okay. So, my job, my life, job is to really bring resources to the community, to people. I'm big on being a river and not a dam, letting information flow through me, not just to me. So if you text me, 202-929-0120, we can talk offline, and I can figure out exactly what you're trying to accomplish, and I can let you know resources that may or may not be available for that.
Awesome. We also have You Don't Know What You Don't Know. Hey, Monet. Like the emoji say, I don't know. And then we can go to shaking my head, right? Because we are now at a point to where you got to say enough is enough. All right? Now, so what's been happening with the crime and the violence here in the city of Jackson is pertaining to a low vibrational frequency. Okay? And when we talk about the law of vibration, understand says everything is vibration. Yep. So as we move forward, Jackson, we have to understand now that we have to change that vibration. And so we have a vibrational chart that we're going to pull up in just a second, but I want you guys to understand what's happening as we move forward. As we move forward, you're going to have to now allow your children, to change. As I was talking about the separation process. Don't get upset when your child begins to not want to go places and do the things that other kids are doing. We have an indigo child, that's one of our children, and he separated himself. And as he began to speak, we began to listen. And so those steps that I was mentioning a second ago is you separate, then you transition into what you're interested in. Okay, that's the T in steps. And then as you begin to evolve, listen, as you begin to evolve and move up and you begin to elevate, that's the E, elevate. Now you go into the P, which is your purpose. Now, when a person discovers their purpose, one of the key steps you do as a parent, a guardian, a mentor, is that you support them. And so that's the steps, STEPS. First, there's the separation. Then there's the transition to what they want to do or what they're interested in, what they're passionate about. And then there is the evolving, or as we say, the elevation, which is the E. And then the P is purpose is discovered. And when purpose is discovered, it needs to be cultivated. And as they're cultivating that purpose, you have to support them. You have to support them by stepping back and giving them the resources that they need. You know, it's kind of like this. And some people may not know how to ride a bike, but if you ever taught to ride a bike with training wheels, they even begin to push you and hold on to you. And after they feel like you got it, everyone felt that let go. And right then and there, you either conquered your fear and you kept riding, or you got scared and, oh no, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. And you caused yourself to fall. It's time for us to stop causing each other to fall. We must diminish fear. We must diminish insecurity. We must diminish doubt. Those three triplets are the dream killers. And I'm going to encourage you today to dream. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, I want to encourage you, Jackson, Mississippi, to keep right on dreaming. If you look at the biblical story of Joseph, he was a dreamer, and that dreaming got him in trouble, Mike. That dreaming got him in trouble with his brothers, his dad, and everybody. That dreaming got him in trouble to where he ended up in a pit. He ended up in prison, but he also ended up being elevated in the palace because he didn't stop dreaming. And when it was called upon him to interpret a dream, that thing which had got him in trouble all those years, he still leaned on that gift and talent, and he was basically catapulted into a whole new destiny. What is your fear? What is that thing that seems to get you in trouble? Do you have the gift of gab? Should you go to speaking classes now and turn that into motivational speaking? What is it, Jackson, Mississippi, that you're sitting on? What is it in that earthen vessel that is a treasure to God, that God just wants one man to plant, one man to water, another man to provide increase? What is it, Jackson? I am calling on you. I'm calling on you to be a part of Open House Vision or any other organization that is bringing change to this city. You may not join up with Open House Vision. You may not call Mike Lee. But if you're going to do something, do something. Do something toward the benefit of restoring the city, changing the mindset, encouraging our young people, loving on them, giving them TLC, time, love, and consistency. We must go through the steps of the process, and we must trust the process because the process itself leads us to abundance and increase and advancement in that which we desire to become. This is not for fun. This Visionaire show is not for fun. This Visionaire show is for purpose. And as I speak to people like Brother Mike Lee, who he's going to have time about 3 minutes now before we close out this Visionaire show, he's going to have about 3 minutes to speak directly to your hearts about what he feels is the most important thing that you should do next after getting this information. I want you guys to understand that Bennie Hitmaker Foster Open House Vision is here, established in the city of Jackson, Mississippi. There's no mountain too high, no valley too low, no ocean too wide that we can't come up with resources and solutions for you, the citizens of Jackson, Mississippi. No, this is not political. No, I'm not in anyone's pocket and nobody's not in mine. We are coming together as one that we may change this city. Brother Mike Lee, please give the people a little bit of your heart. Share with them how important this information is and what they should do next. And guys, I'm going to come back in the last 2 minutes and we're going to close this thing out with whatever comments we need to read. And I salute you guys and I thank you in advance for being a part of Open House Vision and the call on Jackson, Mississippi with the innovative resources that we provide. Brother Mike.
Benny, man, first of all, I'm just so grateful, man. You know, the the work that you're doing in Jackson, you know, the people that you're getting involved around your city, the influence that you have, man, it is bar none. I do this type of thing all across the country. And I'll tell you right now, Jackson, y'all are on to something. Because think about when you go to a basketball game, for example, and you hear everybody in the gym going, defense, defense, defense. You can physically feel that in your body. You can physically feel it in your body when somebody hits a game winner and the entire crowd goes crazy. Win, lose, or draw, you can feel that vibration. And that's what Bennie is doing. That's what he's creating. That's what he's talking about, right? Jackson, I'm telling you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading you to link up with Bennie. Link up with Bennie because you guys are a thriving city, you know? You guys are a muted community just like D.C. is. You guys are a muted community just like Detroit and Houston. But now you got a voice. Now you got a voice. You just need enough people in your corner saying, defense, defense, right? The biggest thing that I want you guys to get from what I'm talking about today is there's resources, okay? Focused on community. That's the group that I work with. We're across the country. We are a Black-owned life insurance agency. And what makes us completely different than anybody else in the entire country is we go directly into our community. We go directly into Jackson. We go directly into D.C. And we talk about the fact that there are not-for-profit life insurance companies out here. Not-for-profit life insurance companies out here. Because 99% of our community has never heard of this. Not once. This is the first time that 99% of y'all have heard of it. The only other person is probably Bennie, because I told him about it, right? And because they're not for profit, they're way cheaper than these big name companies out here that we hear all the time. And they got resources, low-hanging fruit. Get your will written for free, right? Take advantage of the member deals. I didn't even get a chance to go into half of the programs that they have. 1 out of 4 Black people in our community have diabetes over the age of 60. They got resources for you, where you can actually get discounted diabetic medications in the mail. They got resources where you like to entertain yourself, you like movies, you like going to the games, discounted. It's money out here, low-hanging fruit, but you need to tap in. I'm going to give y'all my number one more time, and Bennie, bro, again, I'm passionate just like you. I'm meeting your passion halfway, bro, because we talk.
Yes, sir.
We talk.
Yes,
and
sir.
the love that you have for Jackson, bro, we don't take that for granted. Even me here in D.C., I'm not taking that for granted. So I'm going to give y'all my number one more time. 202-929-0120. And Bennie, I appreciate you, bro. I love you, man. Keep doing the service that you're doing. You got a special place in heaven, bro, because you're doing it right now. Grassroots. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Can we please pull up the high school alumni? Guys, I got about 90 seconds to do some housekeeping right quick. The high school alumni spring fling, 25 and older, represent your high school, is a fundraiser for Open House Vision. Okay? You guys, that will be Saturday, March 5th. 2022 at 8 p.m. until we got DJs, music, food, dancing, games, and talent. It's the relaunch of the Elks Lodge at Elks Lynch Street. Poppin' is the IG Open House Vision fundraiser. Not a fundraiser, but a fundraiser. I want you to be there. Represent your city. Merrill, Callaway, Provine, Jim Hill, Wingfield. Where are you? I want you to come out and represent, okay? Before we get out of here, guys, I want to say this to you guys. First of all, Brother Mike Lee, I need you back here next week. Tap and tune in with us again. I will be interviewing none other than Dr. Henderson, who is a great voice for the city of Jackson, Mississippi as well. He goes live a lot with Mr. Socrates Garrett, benefactor of this very platform that we own. And I want you guys to understand that Dr. Henderson, coupled with Mike Lee, and yours truly, Bennie Hitmaker Foster, oh, it's about to be a rumble in the jungle. This ain't what y'all want you. Mike, we might need to get security. This is what they don't want you to know, guys. And so I want you to tap and tune in. And if you're watching, do your duty by being a supporter. I have a link to where you can become an ambassador, a sponsor, a supporter, or a volunteer with Open House Vision, please request that link, share this show, and be right back here to watch how we begin to give you more resources with two of the most intelligent people I know on the earth, Dr. Henderson and Mike Lee. Again, today's show is sponsored by earthblendcoffee.global. You can use the link in the description box to place your order now. We won't be back after this commercial break, but I'll see you guys next Monday, 11 a.m. Visionaires, we out. Visionaires, yeah, we on a visionary vibe. Cultivating purpose, solutions, and unity while advancing and increasing your personal growth, development, energy, frequency. Yeah, it's a visionary vibe. You ever considered rites of passage, separation, transition, elevation, and purpose? Do you have a code of ethics, protocol, truth, love, respect? I salute you. Pull up at the house and get what you need. Open House Vision. Are you a visionary?
Do you have something to say? Do you want your voice heard? Join the WeBelieve.global lineup. Be the star of your own show. For more info, call 800-492-5186, option number 1, or visit online at WeBelieve.global.